Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name's Carson Rouse, and welcome back to Business Buzz, where we focus on business, entrepreneurship, and investing. Today, I'm going through my 3 favorite service franchise businesses that you might want to get involved in. So I've made a ton of different kinds of franchise videos before, talking about some of my favorite franchises that you might want to become a franchisee for, but most of them have been product-based franchises like McDonald's. In today's video, I'm exclusively focusing on service-based businesses like a car wash or a daycare. A service business is a business that isn't selling a product, but obviously it's rather selling a service. Service businesses often fly under the radar of many people, but I've tried to pick a few that are fast growing, have high success rates, and I did my best to find ones that aren't too expensive. Now keep in mind, any franchise to get started with, it's gonna cost you some money, so none of these are cheap per se, but they are less expensive than your average franchise. Before I get into number 1, please be sure to go down and like this video. It really helps me out in the algorithm, and I would much appreciate it. And at the end of the video, if you found anything of value, I would really love it if you subscribe, because we're almost to 4,000 subs. Also, we're doing a little giveaway, so check out that video right here. Number 1, Critter Control. Critter Control is a top-rated, low-cost pest control franchise according to the Franchise Business Review. This one hits close to home for me, considering that I work for a pest control company. This one in particular, which has a great name, Critter Control, was founded back in 1982, long before I was born, and they started franchising their business in 1987, just 5 years later. Critter Control is very well expanded across the nation. They've got offices from coast to coast with a total of 83 units nationwide. People have been having pest control problems since the dawn of humanity, right? Whether that be with squirrels or mosquitoes or bed bugs or mice. They can be a real nuisance, but more than that, they can be destructive to your property, whether it be a residential home or a place of business. So yeah, this might not be the fastest growing industry in the world, but I don't see it going obsolete anytime soon. The only real threat to this kind of business is at-home do-it-yourself pest control products. But there's just some times when an infestation is so severe, and there's also so many people that are so spooked out by mice and bugs and stuff like that, that businesses like these, I believe, will stay relevant for a long time. Your total investment could range anywhere from $50,000 to $170,000 to get started, and to even be considered, you have to have at least $50,000 in liquid capital. This is money that's not tied up in any assets like a home. This is probably a good thing though, because you don't want to take out too many loans to get started. And the royalty fee for Critter Control is a cool 7%, which is about average for this industry. And considering that the average Critter Control business in a mid-sized market makes around $580,000 a year in gross revenue, then that means you'll be paying around $40,000 a year just in royalties. Now, obviously, the amount that you can earn from a franchise like this varies widely depending on your location, labor cost, and many other factors. After a little digging online though, I found that the average salary for a franchise owner in this business can make anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000 a year once they've really settled into the business and they've been running it for anywhere from 5 to 10 years or more. Number 2, wow, one-day painting. This one also hits close to home, considering that I had a job painting houses a couple summers ago. This is a relatively new company. It was founded in 2010 and they've been franchising since 2011 with about 64 locations across the USA and Canada. The US paints and coating market is expected to grow at an average annual rate of about 4.3% for the next 6 years, which is pretty respectable. And I think this is involved in another industry that doesn't seem to be slipping into any sort of obsolescence anytime soon. This is yet another company that does work for both residential and commercial clients. And what really separates Wow One Day Painting apart from their competition is their focus on speed while maintaining quality. Hence the name Wow One Day Painting. They try to get all their jobs done in one day. To even be considered as a potential franchisee, you'll need a net worth of at least $100,000 and liquid assets worth at least $50,000. Your total initial investment will probably cost you anywhere from $70,000 to $130,000. But keep in mind that with that large investment, corporate will help you along the way in starting your business for a long time going. This company is known to be really good at training and preparing their franchisees to really take on the market. They'll help you with long-term training, booking jobs, hiring employees, and marketing, and they do it really well. Don't get me wrong, you're gonna have to work hard, but they do help you along in the process. If you decide to roll with One Day Painting, you will be binded by contract for 5 years, and you will be paying a 6% royalty fee, which again is about average for this type of business. Also, if you're a veteran, you get 15% off of the franchise fee. And the franchise fee for this company ranges from $30,000 to $60,000, so you'll be saving thousands of dollars if you're a veteran. Again, I did some digging for how much you can expect to make as a franchisee of this type of business. I couldn't really find a great straightforward answer, but my guess is around $100,000 a year, give or take. Finally, number 3, Soccer Shots. Soccer Shots is a children's soccer program that actually integrates a curriculum about character development in these young children. The goal of Soccer Shots is to positively impact the lives of these young children, usually between the ages of 2 to 8 years old, through the medium of playing soccer. Soccer is a growing sport in America, and obviously it's a historically huge sport. It's the most popular sport in the world, and believe it or not, the USA is actually the #1 country for participation in youth soccer. I even played youth soccer, and I was terrible at it. Soccer is definitely not my sport. This could be a really fulfilling franchise for those of you who want to make a positive impact and for those of you who really care about children. This company in particular was founded in the year 2000, and they started franchising in the year 2005, and they've already got about 244 units across the USA and Canada. While any franchise, including this one, is bound to be stressful, definitely at least at some times, this one seems to be a little bit more laid back with your daily duties centering around scheduling sessions and performing HR duties, doing typical finance work and accounting work. So some of it can be a little bit boring, some of it might be a little bit stressful, but I found when I researched the daily activities of a franchisee of this type of business, it seems kind of fun. To be considered as a franchisee, you've got to have at least $20,000 in cash and a net worth of at least $50,000. Your total initial investment for this franchise will actually be around $50,000, give or take about $10,000. The royalties for this franchise are 7%, and you'll also be paying $1,000 a year for a brand development fund. By the way, with all of these franchises that I'm mentioning, the royalty fee is not the only yearly fee that you'll be paying. There's all sorts of little fees and things like that that you'll have to pay, that you'll have to look into. It's just that the royalty fee is the most prevalent because that's usually the biggest chunk that they'll be taking out either every month or every 2 weeks or every year. Again, with this one, I couldn't find a great estimate as to what you can expect to make with this franchise. My guess is around $50,000 to $70,000 a year, but I did a little research and some of the top franchise owners in Soccer Shots are making over $1 million a year. Now, I'm assuming that they own multiple franchises of this, but who knows? That is a ton of money for such low startup costs. I really hope you guys took something of value from this. I think that oftentimes these service-based franchises get too overlooked, but they can be really good, and they also usually have lower startup costs. So I hope that at least one of these rung a bell for you, and hopefully someday, if not already, you can save up the money to potentially start as a franchisee for one of these corporations. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. If you haven't liked this video already, please do for me, and please consider subscribing. check out the giveaway, and I'll see you guys next time.